Unfortunately, I know exactly what you're talking about, although I wasn't around in the 70s and 80s. I just seen the photos and the videos of the quality back then and what customers said about it. When it comes to the greasiness and unrecognizable, disgusting pieces of the chicken, I saw that in Florida when I lived in Sarasota, and the location there had poor work ethic in their employees and not very good management. Now, I haven't been there in a number of years now since I moved out of the state, but one of my friends that lived there said the equality has tremendously gone up. Now, I gave it quite a few years before I tried KFC again after complaining about them for so long, and I went to a different location. It happened to be the original location, the birthplace in Corbin, and it blew my mind. See what happens, and it's like this with any fast food restaurant, any franchised restaurant. You get a franchisee that doesn't hire good people. They don't have good managers. Their managers don't take care of their employees. The employees don't have good work ethic, and they end up rushing and cutting corners just to get through the day. And the quality just isn't that, it's not there when they do that. When Uncle Harley was alive, he would travel the country and even the world to see his quality at every franchise that he possibly could. And if they weren't doing it right, he'd set them straight on it. One of the biggest things that they did was add a few extra pounds of flour to the mix to stretch out those spices so that they wouldn't have to reorder the spices as much. And that depreciated the value of the product. The flavor wasn't there because it was stretched out too much. Now, even into his late 80s, Uncle Harley traveled the country visiting every location that he possibly could, maintaining his quality everywhere that he could. And that's a lot of work for an old man of his age to have been doing at that time. And it doesn't matter how much Kentucky Fried Chicken pleases me this year, how much they surprise me, they will never match his quality and his standards the way that he did. They will not have it where somebody's going around the country making sure every single franchise is doing it his way. He himself, him and Dick Miller, who was his driver, and his daughter Mildred, who was also in the company working with franchisees and training, they would travel and make sure that the quality was up to standards, the Colonel's standards, at every location. If word got back to the Colonel about a location that wasn't doing it right, he'd drop what he's doing, head right over there and fix them. That's what I mean by the brand will never be able to do that again because I just don't know anybody that has that work ethic of Uncle Harley anymore. But what I did find out is if you actually call several times, if you have to, call their customer service line and file a complaint about your locations, something actually happens. I've been on the butt end of customer service where they don't get back to you or they just send you a $5 apology voucher and then they don't do anything else to fix it. But I learned if you call and you insist and you push, and this is with any brand, that you could get your voice heard because the customers are what makes the brand. So if you are having a bad location, reach out to the corporation, reach out to the customer service as many times as you have to make it clear. It's better than posting on social media complaints. What I know is I'm part of the Colonel's family, and my family is part of the Colonel's family, and we did not like Kentucky Fried Chicken for a long time. I was not around when they had the original Colonel making the original chicken with his original hands. My family was, and this Kentucky Fried Chicken in Corbin, Kentucky blew our minds with the quality and how good it was. And if they could change my mind, they could change your mind. You just have to go to the right locations. What are the right locations? Look up the JRN Incorporation. Look up the locations that are owned by JRN. Every single one of those have been great so far. They own the ones in Florida. They fixed the ones in Florida when I had issues with them. And believe me, if I was part of the company and they allowed me to go maintain quality and travel the country to make sure the restaurants are doing it right, to inspect them or whatever, I would do it. I'm not in a position where they pay me to do that, so I'm not going to go out of my way to do that, but I have no problem giving you some information about my experience. They sucked for a number of years, over a decade, and this year they surprised me with their new nuggets, their new fries, and a few of the other new items that they had, and the quality in Corbin. that gave me more hope about the brand and its future when I went to Corbin, Kentucky, and I gave them another